we've got a good one here for you all today. Former Enuff Z'Nuff vocalist Donnie Vie, he is here with us to discuss his new Batman-themed video, Party Time, which features his one-time Enuff Z'Nuff bandmate Chip Z'Nuff on bass. And Donnie tells us why it's sometimes complicated finding the right time for Party Time. He's got a new box set called the Donnie Vie Collection, which features Party Time and 8 other new songs, in addition to 5 of his solo albums, a bonus 6th disc, and a ton of additional content. Make sure that you hit subscribe for this UCR channel and hit that notifications button so you'll get a heads up each time we have new videos like this one. Here's Donnie.
I love your studio space behind you. I've seen that in a couple of interviews. That looks like a great creative space.
That's a great creative space, man. I got everything I need to, if I was any good at mixing and engineering, it would be everything you need to make a record,
Are those lightsabers behind you?
These?
Yeah.
That's a big V on the wall.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I think I could change the color. Let me see. It's not going to red for some reason. There you go. Yeah, it's got a remote control and everything. A big old vein V for vein.
Did somebody make that for you?
I kind of made it. Somebody painted the wall for me, but I
Yeah.
found this shit laying around in a box and I plugged it in and go, oh, that's fucking cool shit. I stuck it up there on the V.
I love that,
enough.
man. Yeah, I've seen that a couple times, and it's like the other stuff I can kind of pick out, but I saw that. I'm like, I'm going to have to ask Donnie what the deal is with that. So that's pretty fun.
Yeah, you can buy that shit. I forget what it's called, but it's super cheap and it's super easy, and you just tape it wherever you want it. And
so Ultimate Classic Rock, we're going to be premiering the video for Party Time, which it's a lot of fun. So to start things off, I wondered, could you talk a little bit about the tune itself? Kind of tell us how that one transpired.
Well, the song itself is some little I had this idea for the da 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 da. I've had this in my head for years. I knew that with the double time and I knew that once I figured out what it was called, because I follow the song and I let it tell me what it wants to be, and it wasn't telling me, it was eluding me. So it's been a couple of different things. It was I think it was exercise once and something else. I was like, hey, that's not going to work for me. So just one day it just popped in my head right when I was finishing up the Beautiful Things record, and that thing popped into my head. And it's like Party Time. I'm like, how could I have not even thought about that? Party Time. And it's like right out of the box, Party Time. Let's have a good time. I was like, well, that's pretty commercial and pretty marketable. So I don't consider it one of my best songs that I've ever written, but I consider it to be the most commercially marketable song that can bridge over any generation gaps or age gaps or fads. But because everybody likes to party, and that's my hopes are that I can land this song in like a commercial or something. Something that actually makes money.
Yeah, no. Hey, making money is that's a good place to start. Yeah, no, it's, yeah. I mean, it's a good, like, it doesn't have to be like a Rush song. Like, it's just a good, like, sugary, sweet, pop tune that, like, it's a fun pop song and people love fun pop songs.
I had to maintain because I've been trying to write a song like that, like an anthem, like a party anthem. Like, I want to rock and roll all night, party something like that for a million years. And Chip, Chip and we were trying to write one, and I think, but it's easy to come up with something cheesy, but it still had to have the integrity of what I do and the sound like me and the same ideology and everything. So when it finally came, and then the verse came to me, and I was like, oh, cool, R&B, a little R&B of soul. I said, that's and it's cool, So went in and pounded it out. We recorded it twice. It was with my last label. After I finished Beautiful Things record, I was not happy at all with the number, how they worked the record or anything like that. It was terrible. And then the pandemic hit, and we had a version recorded, so we were planning to release just a single because I didn't do another record deal with them. I didn't want to be in another deal, so I was going to go with singles. And the flip side, and the other song before it was called All My Favorite Things. It's like we actually had it printed onto a vinyl 45, which are the old version, which sounded good. But then we went once the video started materializing, I started working with my buddy Todd Causley that did the video, directed and produced the video. And it's big league video. And I was like, the song I don't think holds up now to the video. So I went and retracked it, and I got you know, the guy from Jellyfish, got Chip to play the bass. I had
Yeah.
my guy Mike Tholen that mixed my records, him to mix it up, and it sounds really good. Now it's the same song, but it's different. It hits you differently. It's really authoritative and it's powerful. I like it. And what was I saying? Oh, so I've got when I bought out of that deal with that label, because was getting ready to release it like 3 times. I think we're on the 4th time getting ready to release it because it just wasn't time yet. It's not party time. We can't release this yet. Yep. It's not party time, you know what I mean? And started to get to it. And then we decided, then we were going to shoot the video, and they were slated to release it right then, and had it up on iTunes, had it listed here and there. They had the records already, vinyls printed and stuff, and go into stores and stuff with it and shit. And they told me I can't hold it up again. Said, no, we can't, you can't hold it up again. You'll end up you have to pay for all this shit then and all this and that. And I'm like, you know, I don't even have a contract with you guys over this song.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to buy it out. And so I was sitting on what's left of them. They sent me, they had like 50 or 60 of these vinyl 45s that were made for the original version.
Yeah, they look cool from the shot I saw.
Yeah, vinyl 45 records. So the pre-sales, the people that buy my flash drive that I'm just putting out now with all my records and everything on the pre-sales, if you're among those first people, you'll get that 45, you know what I mean? That vinyl 45, yeah. That's the incentive. And plus a Zoom call with me. And so there's already hundreds of Zoom calls I gotta make. I wasn't thinking ahead of time, you know, on that one, but it's going to be a Zoom fest real soon.
So I mean, that's good though. You got a better response on the Zoom angle of things than you were expecting, it seems like.
I mean, but when you think about it, you know, I mean, a lot of artists, for what I'm selling my flash drive for, a lot of artists would charge just that for the Zoom call.
Yeah,
you know
sure.
With me, you're getting a 45 record and you're getting 5, 6 records, and one of them in there's a whole new record of new unreleased stuff, but only it's done in my home studio stuff. So
yep,
be able to release it like that. So I mean, there's a lot of bang for that buck, man. And then all these videos, there's a whole thing of all kinds of videos and shit all over it. And so for $110, pretty good deal, you know?
Yeah. Plus what was the process? Call. Yeah. What was the process like for you? I mean, that's an incredible price. Yeah. For all that and the Zoom call, you're right. And, you know, but what was it like rounding up all this stuff for what becomes this flash drive box set? It seems like that'll be a fun process.
It's really
I mean, Donnie, I just got it today. So I've like been going through the contents, it's pretty well curated. Like there's a lot of stuff, yeah, like whatever you like from Donnie Vie, it's here for you. Like I'm fairly confident there's nobody that's going to get this and be like, oh, I wish there was something else. Like there's a lot there.
Yeah. There's, I mean, anything else that you could find, it's just me solo, there's nothing that I would wish anybody to have to hear, you know. And but yeah, there's a lot of it's luckily a big fan that did bootlegging. It used to bootleg tapes and record records and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I never busted his balls, and I never there's 2 of them, they were brothers, and I never got on them about that. Where's my money? Why are you doing this? All this, that shit. I just, you know, I figure I'd rather have it out there than the name not out there and stuff. So fortunately, that guy had every fucking thing, you know what I mean? And so
nice.
I had him send me, I said, you know what, you can even up the score. I need all this shit. And he gave me everything I've done since I was 16. I don't know how he's got all this shit, but it was all collected on one drive. And so it was just a matter of deciding exactly what I was going to put on it. So it's obvious where all the records, and I originally was going to go with the A to Z, Donnie Vie A to Z, with including all the Enuff Z'Nuff songs and everything. And I found out that because of a deal that we did with Cleopatra, with the Enuff Z'Nuff catalog, that I'd be looking at trouble for that one. I usually don't give a fuck, you know what I mean? But yep, this one I'm trying to do things right, and I got professional promotion and stuff like that. And other than that, we're the inmates are running the asylum. We're doing this all on our own, and you know, family members and stuff actually mailing these things out, you know. So it's going to be, but it'll be a good problem, you know.
So your guy hands you all this stuff that he's collected all these years. Like, what was there in the set that really kind of blew your mind?
Oh, a lot of stuff that's not on the drive, just all old shit from before we hit it and hit big
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Old shit, like songs that I don't even know where, that I've never even had copies, or because when I'm done with something, when I finished a record or something like that, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Now it's yours. It belongs to the
Sure.
fans. I'm done with it, and I don't have them. I don't have my records. I don't have all kinds of memorabilia and all that stuff from my careers. I don't have any kind of sentiment to stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because I'm on to the next song.
Yeah.
As soon as when I'm done with this one, okay, hope you enjoy it, because I'm already into the next one. So it's almost hard for me to even to really get into like working this record, because all I care about now is this new stuff that I'm recording that's known, and I can't wait for people to hear that, So
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I just come up with too many good songs, I mean, there's nothing I can do about it.
It's a nice problem to have. Like, so
Yeah.
of the stuff that actually made it to the flash drive, like, was there something that you were, because you mentioned it, there's the party pack, which is kind of like basically the disc of like 20 tracks or so. So there's all sorts of stuff on that. So was there stuff that did make it to this flash drive that you were particularly like happy to have back, have a place to put it, have it, have a way to finally get it out? Like, was there any of that?
Yeah, some of the video footage.
Yeah,
There's in that party pack, there's not only is there 8 or 9 brand new songs,
exactly.
songs that sound great, but there's also like the demos from the Beautiful Things record. There's a couple other things collected around that I've done, but all this really goofy and out there shit that's really I figure for $110 you're getting enough already on this thing. So let's go volume 2, and
Yeah,
and so
nice.
I got to save some stuff, and then that's where you run into the area of what to put on there and when to stop. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like if you're going to put this, well, we need this, and you're going to put that one, then we need this, and you got to know where to stop. Where to is I give everything away. You know what I mean? Because my aspirations were never to be rich and famous rock star. I'm an artist,
so
and
how
that's
did you
what
find that line then, like where to stop? How'd you find the line?
just decided these things are just these records are the
Cool.
only thing going on there. And then that one edition was kind of a decision made at the last minute. My artist buddy Lee Stokes, he's the one that suggested it. He says, why don't you put some of these new songs, because face it, I'm already on to new stuff past
Sure.
those, the ones that are on there, and I've already heard those for like a year. I want people to hear them, and when I write new stuff and I start making a record or something, lots of great stuff falls out the bottom because new stuff coming in the top, you know what I mean? And so,
Yeah,
but fuck it, we'll just release it. Hey, I don't have you're only paying $110, you see, so I can't, how am I going to afford the big studio and stuff to do that? So you can get, you get all these tunes, and dude, I completely forgot what you were saying.
no,
I'm
you're
losing
talking
it.
through it. You're all
I'm
good. You're
60
talking
years
through
old
it.
now. All right.
Yeah, no, you're good. The other thing I was going to ask, just as far as those 8 new songs, like what's kind of the history on those? Like, what ties those together, if anything?
Well, I had a real near death experience. I was in
Yeah,
the hospital a couple of years ago for my pancreas melted or whatever happens to a pancreas, and
sure.
so I wasn't supposed to make it out of there, and I was in there quite a while. And so when I did get out of there, and I basically just recently in the last few years, I've gotten sober, and
Yep.
and off all the shit.
Because you
and
look
stuff.
really good, man. I mean, you look the best I've seen you.
Well, thank you.
I know that's a weird thing to say, but it's just like, I think for somebody like you that has been through so many ups and downs, that's an important thing. Like, I think there's this thought that you never know the Donnie that you're going to get. And the Donnie that I'm looking at, which really is like the same reaction I think that people had when you put out the Beautiful Things record. Like, people have been good to see, they've been happy to see you on a better path.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
mean, with any Donnie that you get will at least be entertaining.
Yes. Very true. Yeah. So you were talking about the new songs though, as far as like, it sounds like those kind of came out of the hospital experience, the near-death experience.
Yeah, there was, well, what came out of that was a rejuvenation again of appreciation for, instead of I spent most of my life avoiding the light, avoiding the sun and this things like that, and after everything that I've been through and all of the heartbreaks and the ups and downs and all this and that, I started losing my inspiration and my motivation for writing songs, you know. And it's like, I don't just sit down to write a song. They come to me out of the air. You know what I mean? I just have to grab them. I grab them out of the air and I make it so you can hear it and figure it out and this and that. But I started petering out on that, you know, and all of a sudden I got out of that hospital. I hit the ground running. I made an Instant Karma video, and wish I made that too soon. I was way too skinny, but all these songs started pouring out of me again. And when they come, you got to get to work, you know, because there'll be long periods of time where there's nothing will come, you know. And like I said, I don't just sit down to write a song. I would write just as good a song as you did if I sat there. I don't know how, you know.
I was gonna say it's not gonna be a very good song, so
Yeah.
aspire for something else, Donnie.
Yeah, it's just work then, you know what I mean, and trying to use experience and knowledge. But that's not the key to how I've continued to. I consider that I don't put any garbage or any fucking filler. I don't go tread into areas that I've already been. I want to keep evolving and stuff like that, you know. But just these, you know, the songs come out. When they don't, but they did. So I got to work, and I think I recorded probably 15 of them. And
nice.
Then it's depressing to think, all right, well, these are just demoed. These 15 songs, they're great songs. They've only just been demoed. There would need to be a record deal. Then it was this, then it was that, then make the record. So it's going to be years before anybody's going to hear these things. And like I said, I'm just an artist. I just want people to hear it as soon as I finish it. I would like to give it out, and, you know, but financially, that's it's not the greatest move to make, you know, but they were all there. And so I figured, you know, there's no shortage of song ideas that I don't have that issue or that problem. And so figured when it's time to do that again or something, I'll have a bunch of brand new ones. And so I said, let's put them out, and we did. And I hope people like them.
Yeah, and I'm thinking in the back of my head, I know that, like, I think that you were one of the guys that got hosed in the whole Pledge Music thing with the Beautiful Things record in some form.
Goodness.
But doesn't the experience of doing this box set like almost kind of show you that, like, everything you just talked about like having to get a label and this and that to put it out, like, yes, getting a label, like, you know, affords you the opportunity to do this and that, but it's just like you do something like this and you do see that, like, you do have the opportunity to just be Donnie Vie and just put it out, let people buy it and be done, you know. Keep all the money.
I figure at this stage of the game, I've gone this long without money. What's another, how long can I still live? You know, fewer years. But yeah, it's pointless to go with these shitty little labels or smaller labels and stuff that just don't have the juice and the network and this and that to really push your stuff, you know, like it needs to be pushed. So you're basically just giving your money away for the convenience of not having to find your own distribution and different shit like that. And, like, you know, set up the band camp and all this stuff. So you get paid and all that shit like that. And it's like, so my sister and I was just we decided it's time, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to do it ourselves. And it's going to be a little bit more work. And luckily I have some great people around me, like Lee Stokes, Michael King, now Michael Brandbold, Renee and Rachel and Larry. They all run different formats of my social media and stuff, and they're getting this shit up and stuff. And so, like with the pre-sales, the pre-sales came out of the box really good. So, you know, we'll be reprinting, and I'll be doing a lot of Zoom calls and stuff.
That's fantastic. Yeah,
but if I don't have to give away half the money.
Because I think a lot of artists are surprised with the reaction to, like, the Zoom calls and stuff like that, because it's like there's a lot of folks like, you know, you and me that, you know, take for granted that, like, us getting on something like this is just what is done. But it's like I've always had, like, a keen sense, like when I was, like, working at a radio station and stuff like that. I just had friends that, like, they'll very quickly let you know that, like, you know, the things that you think are, like, simple and minuscule are a big deal to the average music fan. So that's kind of what I see with the response that you've had to the Zoom calls, is that, like, naturally folks, you know, that have bought your records for all these years are going to be stoked for the chance to sit down and, you know, ask Donnie some of, you know, the things they've always wanted to know. Which
thank goodness that I'm not all tweaked out and all weird and creaky anymore, you know,
Yeah.
because you could get your Zoom call at 3 o'clock in the morning. And be,
Because
hey,
that's what I've seen,
doing?
like, yeah, because that's what I've seen with like the cameo stuff is like there's fans out there that'll like, you know, pay for like the cameo video just to be able to like ask their like, you know, favorite musician like questions. Like so it's kind of interesting. That's been an interesting aspect of all this stuff that develops, like just using the cameo as an example. It's interesting that like somebody that, you know, wants to pay, I don't know, 150 bucks to ask so and so a question, it's totally worth it to them because the artist, you know, answers that question and they have an answer to something they've always wondered and they can go on living.
Yeah,
So it's kind of cool.
That's the whole thing. I do like this Q&A thing every now and then. haven't done one recently, but where fans will send in questions and stuff, and I'll sit and do 10 at a time and answer their questions. And I like that. I enjoy that. I really like to connect to the fans. I feel like they're all family. I feel like they're all my friends and stuff like that. You know, they come to me for other things besides this music, and they always let me know how important it was and this and that. When I know you're down on yourself for this and that, I just want to let you know that it saved my life and all this and that stuff. So in that respect, I'm loaded. You know, rich is You know,
if you're rich as a king at that point, yeah,
right. So it's I like that connecting.
What's the most unexpected stuff that fans will ask you that kind of blows your mind that people are asking you or want to know?
It's, you know, I gotta say, I hate to say it, but a lot of times it's very, very often the same shit.
Yeah.
You know, people want to know the same shit, you know, and it's like answers to a lot of that stuff you can hear in a Chips Enuff interview. You know what I mean? He's got all the data and this and that, and he recites it and logs it up, but the fans want to know. It was just about the creative.
Yeah.
About the creative. That's what I love to talk about.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I talked to Joe Perry recently, and like Joe Perry, like he was talking about doing one of those like rock and roll fantasy camp, you know, type of things. And he was really humble about it because he's like, I can just, you know, kind of show them what I do. And it's like, Joe, you know, being able to show people, you know, how you play that riff, that's a big thing. So it's always interesting, you know, what an artist either comprehends about themselves or doesn't. You know, it's different with every person.
Well, I don't take myself seriously.
Yeah. I see that.
How could you when you're such an easy target for bullshit as I am, you know, but I mean, it's, you know, there's a confidence, but there's not an arrogance, you know what I mean? And you got to be confident to be good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
for sure.
But the arrogance and stuff, you know, I just 100 straight up, what you see is what you get. You know, do I have the good teeth in or the other teeth in? You know what I mean? Shit like that. And just I'm not so hung up about image and all this stuff and being arrogant or being pompous or how I come off. Did I come off professional or something? Just straight up me now. And it's a lot easier, and people seem to appreciate it more.
So as far as the video for Party Time, how did the video come together? Because you kind of alluded to that a little bit, and it looks like it would have been a lot of fun filming it.
It was a lot of fun. This guy, his name is Todd Causey. He used to own the limousine company in Chicago that we used to use all the time. So he sort of became a friend because he drove us all the time. He became a friend, and then he'd come out on the road, and all the debauchery really bonds people. You know what I mean? When you're banging some chick together or something like that, you know, it's next thing you're friends forever. And he just, I wasn't hoping for much of a video. I knew I wanted to make a video of his Party Time, and started feeling out there on my pages and stuff, looking for, you know, people to send in party videos and things like that, you know. And so while I was doing that, I seen a comment from him. He's like, call me, man. He goes, I got all this stuff now. I'm doing this, making movies and shit. And I was like, really? So I called him, and it just, I couldn't believe how much stuff that he brought to the party. It's $100,000 video made for, you know, I had to pay for a lot of stuff, but not for what it would take to make that video. And I just seen the cinematography and everything. I was like, this is really looking good, you know what I mean? And then as we were doing it, it was loose, and like I said, not taking myself seriously, you know what I mean? Just having fun with it, and it started coming together. And when you got, you know, when you got all these, it's like magic. Just trying to make music and stuff. It's magic. It's magic. Certain things, it's like you can't explain it. How that came to be. It's magic. And that thing, that energy started to happen there on the video set, and everybody getting together with this. And yeah, it's just it turned out a lot of fun, and I'm really happy with it. I can't wait till people see it.
What's the current state of the union with Chip? Because it seems like a good sign that he's in the video.
um at that particular time, I felt that we got to a place where I was hopeful with him, you know what I mean? And since then I found out that that there's really not any hope for that situation, and just two different agendas, you know what I mean? And so the state of the union now is let's just say I'm not going to sit here and talk shit about him.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough. No, it's been, so you mentioned there's a couple other things. One, I know that you've been working on a song, with or for Howard Stern here in the recent past. What's the deal with that? Sounds fun.
Have you heard it?
I haven't heard it. No, not yet.
Oh my goodness. I'll send it to you when you get me your email.
Perfect.
What happened was I've been hitting boy Gary up a lot in like the last year of like, I'm thinking, that's, if I could just get Howard behind something, because he always said how much he loved me and this and that. And I hear him come on the radio every now and then, starts talking about me again, I'm playing a song and this and that. And it's like, man, if I could get you guys behind me on something. And they said, that's not our format anymore. We don't do it like this. And it's like basically the humana. And just one day I got an email from their entertainment department that said, Howard wrote this goofy song, it's just as a stupid, inappropriate song, you know what I mean? And they sent it to me. It goes, we just seeing a few artists if they would cover a version, their rendition of it. And so when I heard it, I'm like, oh geez, I write 100 of those when we're drinking and stuff, you know what I mean? The things like that, and like a parody of a song, and but as I was singing it and going over it in my head, I keep hearing this chorus coming, because there's no chorus in it. I keep hearing this chorus telling me this is when he needs to go here. So I was like, well, that's not part of his song, and then I thought, well, what the fuck? I got nothing to lose. I mean, what's the difference? It's probably just a goof anyway. And so I said, if I can put the chorus in it, and then recorded the music around it, and it came out really good. It's actually a good song, it's a far cry different than what it was, but I was really appreciative for them to love and thinking of me and throwing me a bone to do that. And I got a little exposure for a few days, but the song's pretty, it's called Bang a Clock. It's not like it's not the most, but
the title, you can kind of like draw your own conclusions. So I will look forward to hearing that.
There's certain things you get lucky if you can find a cool way to present something, you know what I mean? Something like that, and so.
As a songwriter, like when you hear a title like that, is that like, you kind of alluded to this a little bit, but is that easy? Like, oh, I can put a song around that. Like, does it make it easier when you have something kind of like almost comedic like that to work with?
Well, in this particular case, it was because the guidelines where I had to use this to write the song, you know what I mean? And then when, it's a lot of times a title or something like that, it'll get you going in a direction, things like that. But when it's somebody else is giving you the title and it's that, so we're etched in stone here with this. Okay. So it's tricky, especially with a thing like called Bang a Clock, you know what I mean? And try to still make it cool. Like where I'm not just a parody of a buffoon, or has been singing Howard's inappropriate song, and but I've never been the kind of writer that starts with a title or lyrics or this and that, and then I usually write the lyrics and everything too, because I need something to sing. You know what I mean? So if they are clever and they and it means something to somebody, that's all a bonus. I just need something to sing that sounds cool.
So the title was provided. Were there already lyrics too, or?
Yeah,
all there were. Okay. Yep. All right.
Yeah, they're pretty inappropriate and childish verses. Pretty childish, but that's Howard.
As you would expect. I mean? Yeah, sure.
But I tried to give him little street creds by making a cool chorus and put it in there, and it sounds pretty good.
I mean, it's a little bit further developed because like you're literally getting the title and the lyrics, but it's like I have some friends. I don't know if you've ever participated in any of those like songwriting games where it's like they'll just give you the title and everybody has to write a song. Have you ever done any of that?
If they have those games and if there's prizes, they got prizes for them, I'll get in those games.
I'll put you in touch. There you go.
I'll give them a run for the money.
I just always find that interesting because it's just like, it's like, it is interesting to like have a title and see like the song that comes out from all the different people that are given that title. So I like that aspect of it. So
I mean, I imagine I could do that. There's not a whole lot that I've tried to set out to try to do.
Sure.
Actions or behaviors, something like that I can't figure out how to do. So I imagine I would be all right. I'd be as good as anybody at that game, you know?
No, I have no question. You have the you definitely have the artillery to take that on. There's no doubt on that. So you mentioned the songs that you're working on. What can you say about the songs you're working on for like the next record? After this flash drive box set.
Well, I'm going now for like I said, when they come in waves and they come
Sure.
in bundles, and but once you've recorded so many songs that I have, there's just so many, there's like 25 to 30 records of all. I wrote every song, for the Enuff Z'Nuff. I wrote all the stuff for my stuff and shit. And I need to still be stimulated by what I'm doing for me to stimulate you with the song. You know what I mean? I need to be the first guy that loves it and deals with it. And so I'm just kind of going with more quality over quantity now. And there's no pressure on to, you got to have this many songs by this time or this and that. And plus I got a backlog of, I'm all set if I need, do anything, but
yeah,
newer stuff. I'm trying to keep in this, in this sort of production style or whatever. I consider my solo stuff as more appropriate production style to my writing and singing than it was with the Enuff Z'Nuff. It just kind of things didn't gel right and make sense, so I get stuck in the middle, and like I said, other things that I haven't addressed yet. And I've written a lot of songs. I'm the king of the broken. I've written a lot of songs about sad things and drugs and dark things and stuff. And so I'm trying to keep it positive, and so I'm very, very positive these days, and things that I'm mindful now of trying to appeal to a bigger group of people with like what I'm writing about and the songs I'm thinking about. And so there's not as much now of just, these feelings and emotions and stuff. Now I'm actually putting some premeditated into what I want to sing or which is trickier. You know what I mean? If you just go with your emotions and this and that, it's this could mean something to me, and luckily if it means somebody that, but something that personally, because music is the universal thing, and it's for everybody. And I kind of was hitting this zone over here, but I'm missing a lot of other zones because of my personal taste and stuff, so I'm trying to get more people high on a new thing. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Not to use the pun intended. We were just talking about that the other day, but no, I'm trying to because like if the stuff that I do, if it's had that much impact on this group of people, and of what they tell me that it has, and every now and then I'll go fishing when I'm feeling down or something, like tell me what if my music has meant anything to your life and stuff like that, and they come pouring in when I do that, and I don't feel so sorry for myself anymore when they do, but but if it does this for this many people, maybe I can do that for more people.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so you got to hook them somewhere. And then once you pull me in, if you like what you heard there, if I got you with that song, then come on over and listen to what I got over here. And I think you'll be a big fan, So it's trying to generalize things a little bit more and more, and keep it lighter, not quite so heavy and deep and shit. You know what I mean?
Well, it's been a good year for fans of what you do, because like there's this flash drive, but there's also that Never Enough box set of Enuff Z'Nuff like rarities and otherwise. And dude, that's a really cool collection to have in hand. Like, what was the experience of putting that together?
I didn't have anything to do with putting that together. They haven't even sent me a copy.
Oh,
I don't even have a copy of that. That's Chip's basically running using that as his ammo to fuel his thing. I happen to see it. A fan sent me the pictures of it and this and that. And I see what's on it, and it's nothing on it that if those songs that are there, there's a reason that I didn't have them on records. You know what I mean? There's just like, I didn't particularly think that there's something about them that they're just not quite you know, so having those all released in one collection is, you know, it's not the greatest thing in the world as far as I'm concerned, you know what I mean? And so, and plus you've heard those demos and this and that, and everybody's got those demos that it's a big fan out there, and they just collect, you know, put them together in one collection. So they're basically just kind of capitalizing off our fan base and stuff. But it's all the pictures and things in the record, and it looks really cool. And I haven't, like I said, I haven't actually seen one in my hands yet. I'd like to see what it looks like, but I see me plastered all over it. So, you know, but that's the thing, that I had nothing to do with any of that, you know, I mean, besides writing and singing all the songs.
Well, the thing that I always have admired about you guys as a band is just like, you know, if you want to call those cast-offs, your cast-offs as Enuff Z'Nuff were better than some other band's records at times. So
Thank you.
If anything, like that box set, like, first of all, I'm the nerd that like I can have a lot of that stuff, but like, you know, if a band like say puts out the thing that like collects it all somewhere so it's all one package, I dig that. So there's that element to it. But I think it's valuable in the sense that for more casual fans that only know, like, say, the records from you guys, like it just kind of offers a deeper look that, like, you know, these guys aren't like they're not messing around when they say we have a lot more than what made it to the records. This is like visible proof for anybody that doesn't have all those bootlegs. What
it looks like to me, from my perspective, is all right, we've sold all of these records, we sold all this and that, we got what else can we sell? What else can we fucking dig up and sell? You know what I mean? So that's the way it comes across to me. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have chose to, but yeah, I mean, the big fans, I have to look at it from a different angle, because I know like the things that I really loved and I really listened to, that like Beatles, for example. And then you hear these rare outtakes and shit like that. And it's like, I get off on listening to it and stuff, but you know, and it's hard to flip that around. But there are people I know, they see, you know, the fans and the big fans, they want to hear those things, and they like that shit, you know, and just because it wasn't, you know, up to my standards doesn't mean it wasn't any good, you know what I mean? So somebody's got to do that stuff, or I'd be fucking throwing all kinds of shit in the garbage.
Yeah. Have you been enjoying all the Beatles stuff that's been coming out, like the Sgt. Pepper box and Abbey Road, and obviously we've got Let It Be coming out now, and the documentary as well?
Oh, I can't wait to see that. How can you not be happy with more Beatles stuff? You know?
Yeah, right.
I wish they could find more songs that didn't make it to things and stuff like that. You know, I'd like to, but I believe they've scraped every corner of everything, got everything there is. But you can't complain about them trying to keep the Beatles going. As the Beatles, if you see somebody in a Beatles shirt, you can pretty much guarantee that it's probably going to be a decent person to get along with, an easy person. It's got some beauty and some love and some, you know, cool behavior and aspects to them. You know, and then there's guys that like a lot of those 80 hair metal bands and stuff that I hate the Beatles. I hate you know, because we're just talking about somebody else that's as white of music as you can get, is 80s hair metal. That's as white. That's as white of music as you could possibly come up with. But you start taking the Beatles out of things, you're losing melody. You know what I mean? Melody is the whole thing, and melody is what you know, it releases endorphins and things from your brain, you know, I mean, dopamines and things like that, good melodies and things like that. They actually, you know, it releases, they get you, it's sort of a high. It actually is a high, you know, but and it's in a high in a positive way, you know what I mean? Not a high like that, you know what I mean? And we need melody. We need to maintain the melodic senses and you know, and quality, interesting vocals and harmonies and melodies and simplicity. That's another thing with the Beatles. It was very simple, very simplistic music, but still nobody's been able to recreate it yet. You know, nobody's been able to top that yet, you know, and keep it coming, man. Keep it putting it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, and I think that people are always interested, of course, just like the one thing that's always said is just like how much they did as a band in less than 10 years. But the other thing is, like, it's always fascinating to me that the early Beatles and kind of the later Beatles that get weird, like, it's fascinating to me that those two were the same band. Like, they went a lot of different places in less than 10 years. Like they evolved in a way as a band that sometimes it takes bands like, you know, 20 or 30 years to go through the evolution musically that they did.
Yeah, it's well, I know personally speaking for me that there's something else at play here. This isn't just artists that sit down with a guitar and paper and pen and come up with all this stuff out of thin air. This is there's something else at play. There's something else that it's not seen behind in the wings that that we don't see going on, and that was like the biggest example of God making a record. You know what I mean? That's what the
Yeah.
Beatles, and that was just the way it was meant to be. And they probably had no control over it, and you got a guy like George Martin, and I'm sure they had a zillion ideas, you know what I mean? But they would grab like the best ones, and just that at that time though, everything in the country, everything in the world was getting this new revelations of this and that, and changes going through love and sex and looks and change and all this stuff. And so they were very clever, and just with the times and everything, it just panned out. Like the planets aligned for those guys. It's like, you know what I mean?
Is it interesting for you that, like, as Enuff Z'Nuff, that you guys were able to find a hole and do what you did at the time? Like, you guys were a band out of time, but it's like you found this slot that like opened a wormhole that like has been the whole career.
Yeah, I would call it more of a crack than a slot, yeah, well, we were very different than anything else that was out, you know what I mean? It just what we were doing would never be lumped together with that production and that style of music, with that guitar player, and that that what I write and sing would never be put together like that. And so we kind of grabbed a lot of people that didn't know they were Beatle fans, that became Beatle fans because through the hair metal or whatever it was, the 80s rock and stuff, that's where they were turned on to us, through that, having to find out they like melodies and they like this and that. And so that's we've always been, there's not too many bands through history that would combine the metal with that melodic pop sense and stuff, and I think we're like one of two or three of them, and so that's, and our fans, they don't go away. They die. They're starting to die now because we're so old, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
but they don't go away. They just stick with you. So that's why we're still able to operate.
So we're at the 30-year mark for the Strength record. You guys had like such a run with that debut record. Kind of take us back to that moment as far as what you kind of recall, like as far as you're reassembling and looking to go in for that next round. What did kind of that whole period of time in the Enuff Z'Nuff timeline look like getting that record down?
Oh, you mean in between the first record and going into Strength?
Yeah, going in to do Strength and getting that done.
Well, see, we weren't aware of what was happening to the music business at that time. There was a huge shift, and everything was changing and everything was falling apart and being, right at that time where we got the luck of the draw, the worst time he could have come out. And
Yeah.
with the worst misrepresentation of our look and image and stuff like that, the worst time. But it was it's just in order to go from this insecure scared little kid that I used to being the lead singer of a rock band on MTV and on the radio and stuff. It took a lot of self-medicating to be able, because I suffer from really bad anxiety and manic depressant and all this and that. And so it took a lot, and but that stuff started taking a life of its own. Before you know it, there wasn't a whole lot of Elvis still in the building, you know what I mean? It's like it was running the show. And so it's there wasn't any really conscious space of like, okay, we're going to do this next record and think about how it's going to be or what this and that never happened. It was just, that was the next wave of songs, the next batch that I'd come up with, and just the production style with Paul Lanny and everything. It turned out really, really cool, something you probably wouldn't be able to do these days, or think to do these days, with actual orchestra players and things like that. And because it's just couldn't afford it, you know what I mean? Or you wouldn't, so you don't think to do it. But we just got, it was cool. And a lot of people they still refer to that record, for things. But yeah, it was all like a mishmash. It was like one big party.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that's in this flash drive set is you kind of went back to that record with the extra strength thing. Like what kind of brought you back to those songs to kind of reapproach them like that?
Well, at the time that I came up with that was it was the first time I was out of Enuff Z'Nuff.
Right.
And both times that I'm out of Enuff Z'Nuff, I've more or less been fired. Like I was fired this last time. And at that point, it's not like they actually fire me, but they will just go on without me. It's like they quit me. So
Yeah.
that's what would happen. And so at that time, I was in a shitty marriage and things were going rough, and I was just sliding down the fucking hill and just going down, 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 and needed something, and needed to do something. And I just thought this idea came to me that everybody loves that record so much that why don't I present those songs as basically how they were written, you know, just really simplified and brought down to just a guitar and a vocal or whatever the hell. And so I thought I would like to see it if I was a fan. And so it was, you know, that was the record to choose from at that time. I think that was the best record to do it with.
As a guy that, like, as you talk about, like, you're always kind of moving forward, looking to the next thing, like, is there a record where you feel like you got it right, you know, either
Yeah.
solo or otherwise?
Beautiful Things.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the first time, this is the first record I've ever made where all the cock blocking was gone. All of the handcuffs were gone. All of the, what other people's opinions of the vision and this and that were gone. And, but at the same time, having the luxuries to do it right. You know what I mean? Have all the capabilities and the right people together. Actually, this is my first time I've actually was able to meet the vision that I had. You know what I mean? It came out really, really well.
Hopefully this,
I think so.
Yeah. Hopefully this set will give folks another chance to kind of like get a second look at that record, because like I said, I know that there were some difficulties in getting it out to begin with. And then it's like you have a pandemic that comes along. So it's just like, there's kind of a lot of things that ultimately get in the way of people being aware of that record. So I know that, like, you got some good coverage on that record. You got some good press. I think Billboard, you know, did something, but there was some good coverage on that record. But I think that's one of the cool things about this new set is it gives people, you know, whether they're familiar with all of your solo catalog or just a portion of it, they have a chance to, you know, take it all in however they want to do that. So that's pretty cool.
There's a lot of some of my solo records, a lot of the music from it and stuff. It's with the shitty ass labels that I was on with those and things like
hard
that.
to find or impossible.
They're out of print, or you find it on eBay and it's $200 and shit like that. You know what I mean? So my number one agenda is to have the music out there so people can listen to it and enjoy it. You know what I mean? And so that's why I liked the idea of putting the flash drive, putting all these things together and you know, as like you said, kind of giving a new life to beautiful things, because you know, that's actually going up as a putting out that record again. We're gonna put that one out again. So I didn't want to give up hope on that one. It's just too good a record, and you know, it's just the perfect vision that I had. And but with the flash drive, I just figured you know, this stuff's out there if you try hard enough to find it all and things like that. But I think it's pretty convenient to have it all on one thing, and it's got all the videos. And then actually here, let me show you. Where's the damn thing? Oh, there it is. Sorry about that. This is it. This is the flash drive. It's a laminate.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then you open it, and here's the flash drive. That's the USB. Can you see that?
That's very cool.
That's what plugs into your thing. But this also, another added inspiration to buy this is now for future concerts and shows. This is your meet and greet ticket. And,
oh, that's great.
Instead of having to pay for all that stuff, and you want to take a picture, you want to meet me, you want to whatever, this and that, you know, this will get you in, and whatever else we got going at the time, this will be good for that. You know what I mean?
So for anybody watching this, looking at that laminate, just so you know, that's about close to 7 gigs worth of material on there. So it'll take you some time to go through it. It'll keep you busy, that's for sure. Well, cool, Donnie. Anything else you want folks to know about as we wrap here?
Just that's out.
Yeah.
The video on single, I've been waiting for a year to get it out, and that's coming. That'll be out, I guess, the 15th.
Yep.
You guys are premiering it.
Yep.
Thank you very much, by the way. And,
yeah, man. Oh, we're stoked to do it.
Just once again, I just want to tell all the fans, you give me a reason to exist. You know what I mean? And if it weren't for you, I wouldn't make any sense, and I wouldn't be able to figure out how to make sense of my life or anything. It gives me a purpose. You give me purpose, and it's the only thing I do this for is for the fans and for the people. It's the only reason I do this, because it feels so rewarding to me when somebody is affected by something that I did, you know, and positively. I mean, a lot of people have been affected by a lot of things I've done, but maybe not positively, you know. So no, it's just it's all about the fans, and turn your buddies onto it. And I'm still here, and you're still here, and it's good to see you. And I'm going to be out performing all this stuff real soon, as soon as everything lightens up a bit and we get this out and the singles go out moving, and I'll get out and support it. And I can't wait to see everybody again too, you know, face to face, and sing all those songs for them.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for the time, Donnie.
Thank you, brother.